Stakeholders in the real estate value chain and sustainability experts have called on facility management practitioners to inculcate sustainability in their activities to protect the planet, improve the African economy, and create added value for clients. This call was made at the just concluded 10th Nigerian Facilities Management Roundtable in commemoration of the World FM Day in Lagos. This year's theme is Role of Facilities Management in Building a Sustainable Africa. Managing Director of FM Intelligence Pty, Duncan Waddle, stated the importance of sustainability and how he has been able to instill a sustainability culture.
The non-involvement of facility managers in the planning stage of buildings, particularly public infrastructure, is hemorrhaging our collective resources. A survey conducted in Hong Kong revealed that 40% of maintenance deficiencies were design related, 30% of which were construction and installation related, and the balance 30% are maintenance problems due to maintenance mismanagement.
For you as a developer, when you start out thinking, oh, this is expensive, it's all about cost, like I said at the very beginning, you stand the risk of putting yourself in a position where you easily become irrelevant or obsolete. It may not seem to be happening fast now, but it's only a matter of time. And then with the customers becoming more discerning and aware, and remember that the people who are going to be living in these buildings, they're not strangers. Inevitably, as a developer, this person is going to be connected to you in one way or the other. So we need people to live healthy and well as well, because the ripple effect in society actually comes back to be a benefit to us all.
If we use the environment badly, it can't serve us in the long run. Therefore, we must pay attention to those things that affect the health of people, the safety of the environment, and the impact of human activities on the environment, such that not only do we meet the needs of current generation, but we also enable the generation of the future to meet their own needs.
We're now being joined by Femi Akintunde, who is the Managing Director, Alpha Mead Group, for a bit more focus on this. Welcome to Newsday. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, what brought about the Nigerian FM Roundtable that is now in its 10th edition? And could you also tell us about what the vision is for the conference?
The FM Roundtable is the way we in Nigeria have decided to celebrate the World Facilities Management Day, which is a global event. It's celebrated between May and June every year all over the world. And it's a way to showcase the importance of maintaining the infrastructure and the quality of the environment in which we live, work, and play. And service being what it is, it's important for you to showcase what people are doing in that industry and how it's impacting the world. Then it also shows us how well we are doing in Nigeria. And that roundtable is meant to bring out important issues that we need to focus on to improve our standard of living from that perspective.
Very good. Not too long ago, you mentioned infrastructure being a critical element to sustainable living. Tell us more about that. You had a paper on that recently.
Yeah. Basically, what we're trying to say in that context is that infrastructure plays a very important role in the quality of living that people are able to achieve. And we start by looking at infrastructure in the context of social infrastructure and economic infrastructure, because you can't take one and leave the other. Social infrastructure relates to facilities and services that enhances the human development. Things like education, health, legal, security. We must take care of the infrastructure that supports that. Sitting on top of that economic infrastructure that promotes economic living of people, roads and bridges, telecommunication, oil and gas, and all what have you. Now, for Nigeria and anywhere in the world, it's important that we don't lose sight of one at the expense of the other. When we now talk of sustainable living, it's about providing means of living that takes care of the needs of current generation without necessarily living out how the future generation will live their own lives. And it sits on a three-tripod stand. First is economic prosperity, because you must be able to connect the people, the planet, and profit. If we focus too much on profit, we may neglect the environment, and it hurts us at the end of the day. So economic prosperity is very important. That's where profit is driven, and that's how we get money to do everything we need to do. But it's important to take care of the needs of the people, their well-being, their health, the education standard. And at the end of the day, you don't do those two without looking at what is affecting the planet. If we do things that would destroy the ozone layer, Earth will be in fact impacted at the end of the day. So taking all this into consideration, we are saying, how do we compare in Nigeria with what the standard should be, and how do we compare with other nations of the world? Nigerian Society of Engineers every 2 years publishes a report called Nigeria Infrastructure Scorecard. They basically look at using some global standards in the engineering industry to say, what are those important infrastructure? What is the level that Nigeria is today? How do we compare to other countries? And the last survey that was done in 2019, we have done the 2021, but it's yet to be published. It puts Nigeria on a scale of 1 to 5. The 2015 one put Nigeria at 2.09 rating on a scale of 5. Unfortunately for us, it dropped to 1.51 in 2019. Basically saying that we're not investing well enough in infrastructure, and we're not taking care of what we need today to sustain our economic growth and what will take us to the future. Looking at that, if you take a very critical part of it, which is power. Power for us, that electricity, we look at what is the current power generation in Nigeria. We're generating about 7,000, we are distributing about 4,000 megawatts to a population of 200 million people. When you compare that to a place like Ghana, where they are doing, you compare it to a place like, America, the US. US is generating 3,840 per 1,000 people. We are generating 4,000 for 200 million people.
Well, the US has different sources of power generation.
Exactly.
Different companies, as it were.
Exactly.
Or
So that's
state.
where we need to get to as Nigeria.
Yeah.
The current system where we are looking at centralized power, transmission, distribution, we have overgrown that. Most of those transmission and distribution facilities are already tired. They are weak. We must be moving towards captive power distribution system, decentralized, where you can take a section of a country or state and allow private sector people to come in, generate power, distribute there. And the economy of it is how cheap and how efficient is power that you are distributing to people in that area. Because if power is there, a lot of people will earn their living from there, and it will promote development. Because what we are generating currently, compared to global standards, we must be at minimum of 20,000 megawatts now to meet our domestic
needs. Which means
needs.
the so-called unbundling of the PHCN itself has not
Delivered
the required
The way
results.
we've gone about it has not delivered, because we've gone about it on the premise that the current system is sufficient, and we think by just changing the provision from public to private will solve the problem. No, we've got to go to the root of it, the fundamental, the strategy, which has to be that rather than transmitting all the way from Kanji and thinking that you will transmit it all the way to Lagos, you lose 60% of the current that you generate. We call it transmission losses. It's about 60% you lose. Why doing that and wasting it? So what we are saying is that take generation closer to the point of use. You minimize that, and then it's cheaper, and it gets to people faster, and it's more competitive because it's sizable, and you involve more people in the value chain and the energy mix structure, because people can now decide to say, look, I would deliver to Ikoyi, and I'm producing some on gas, I'm producing some from solar, I'm producing some from diesel, if you like, and when you look at the blend, you achieve better results in that way. So by failing to achieve that, our life expectancy is so low because the quality of our life is not as good as it should be. An average Nigerian is very hardworking, but all the external factors that is supposed to support good living for us, they are not there. So we struggle more and achieve less. Our productivity is so low compared to what it should be. And it's not being helped even by our population. Nigeria population is growing at an average of 2.5% per annum. Our GDP rate, growth rate, is 2.2%. What that simply tells you is that we are growing population faster than the productivity that will support that, consuming more than you are producing. And if you continue on that trajectory, at the end of the day, you just discover that it's like a father giving back to more children he cannot feed. So we have to either increase our production base or find a way to control our population better. We cannot continue to say, oh, our population is an advantage. What is the advantage of a population that is so large, that is poorly educated? What is the advantage of a population that is so large that we cannot cater for? Therefore, they become security threats to the country. One of the things we are saying about security today is because people are not engaged. People are not well fed. People have problems. Basic problems that we cannot meet as a nation. So it is important for us to ensure that we cater for that and ensure everybody has something to engage them meaningfully. If we do that, security will come down. If we do that, there'll be more enough to go around everybody. So my charge to government is to say, what are we going to do to improve the general standard of living of people by improving the state of infrastructure? Education must improve so that we will stop losing our good people to the industrialized nation that already have more than enough. But if we educate them and we can't retain them here, why would they not leave the country? So brain drain is also affected by failure to provide infrastructure for these people to practice what they've learned in school. So secondly, it is important for us to also understand that law and order is very important. Capital goes to where it is invited, it stays where it is respected. Foreign direct investment will not come into an environment where there's insecurity because they won't make money.
Very good. And on that note, we've come to the end of this segment. Femi Akintunde, Managing Director, Alpha Mead Group. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.